Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how we go about drawing this Dovetail Tee Halving. You can see I have an isometric view of the Tee Halving here. I have some of this kind of highlighted in a slightly darker pen to make it stand out on the page. We've got our dimensions in, face side, face edge, A and B, the slope or the bevel, and then a piece showing the setting out. Now I'm not overly concerned about this part yet. I'm just going to draw the dovetail itself, Dovetail Tee Halving itself. And I'm not going to bother with an exploded view, just a closed view. So where it is down here, I'm just picking a start point, and it's on a clear sheet. It could be done on a line sheet either with isometric grid paper placed underneath it, and hopefully that should come through on the screen. Now you hold this down, you should be able to just faintly see the outline of that there. So when I come off to the right, I'm going to come off to the left as well too. I'm going to measure out 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces, and I'm going to measure out 3 this way, 1, 2, 3 this way. I'm just going to draw a vertical line here now, following the lines in the background. And I know this is maybe coming through a little bit heavy, but you can always pull these back a wee bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go opposite. Well, I'm going to go another 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 8 and 5. Now what I'll do is I'll go at 30 degrees right and left from that particular point. You can do that from this point. Don't bother doing it from here. I'm going to take that straight up and down. Again, following the 30 degree line, go back the way. And I'm not going to put that line in because it only gets in the way of what I want to do out in the front here. If anything gets too long there, you can always take it off as well. So extend that line out in both directions. Go out 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because it's going to give us a good sense of proportion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'll draw a vertical from that and that, and then come back this way along the top, because you have to line up. Come back at 30 degrees that way, 30 degrees that way, and that way. Measure out your 3 squares, vertical line, and then just draw along the line of the back there as well. Now this line here, I'm going to continue up to where it hits that edge. I didn't want to draw it in because it would have done the full thing of that there. It's just a wee bit heavy. I use a HB lead when I'm drawing here, which might be too heavy for some people, but it works for me and it's easy to rub out if you make any mistakes. So halfway between the two of these, there's a square in the middle. I have to pick a midway point, same two here, and I'm going to draw a line across like that. And now essentially what we have is a Tee Halving, but in this instance what I want to do is I want to draw my dovetails. So I'm going to come in 1 square from each of these 2 edges here, and I'm going to draw a heavy line down there. Now these 2 lines here are only guidelines, so I can actually rub them out a little or draw them back a wee bit, and now I can start to put in heavy lines here. Run them. You can see that I'm going with the same kind of line each time, because it does give a wee bit of consistency in the line that you're drawing. Get your hand used to making those lines as well too. Anchoring the heel of your hand to the page, and if you need to, you can always turn this around, and if you're more comfortable doing a particular angle or line, use that to your advantage. Missing a couple of lines. So there we have the basic Dovetail Tee Halving. To make it look like it's wood, I'm going to put in a little bit of end grain. I can also put in that this is piece A and this is piece B, and my face side is shown onto those 2 pieces. Then I might like to put in a few dimensions. So what I like to do is I like to come at least two of the squares away from where it lines up. So come 2 squares out and just draw a line along your 30 degrees. Don't make it too heavy, then add in a couple of slender dark arrows. That has to finish there, there and there. I have up on the end here, I have an additional dimension, which is, I don't really have a line for you have to kind of guess in between the two of them. Put the caps on the end of that there, and make that too if you need to turn it to suit whatever's easiest for you when you're drawing. Now there is an in between one on that there, and I've made a bit of a mess of that there. I should have made them arrows a little bit smaller, because it's quite narrow, and I need to take that line straight down to the bottom and line with the bottom and put in my dimensions here. It's a pretty big arrow there. And there's one other dimension that I would want to put in here, is the distance of the shoulder here that is back to create that dovetail effect. And it's got heavy as well too, so I'll just rub that a wee bit. And the size in there is 7. We're dealing with 44s along here. Don't write it down on the line, give it a wee bit of distance off the line. We have 2 of these 15s, so the thickness of the wood is 30. And I like to turn it around like this here when I'm putting these in, because that one's going to be 44 and this one is 80. Now we have all the information really that we need there. What I like to do with these sometimes is use a little bit of yellow colour around the base of them, lifts it off the page a little bit. If you wanted to continue that up along the sides of it there, that'll be fine too. It gives a wee bit of depth on the joint itself, makes it just stand out a wee bit more. So that is the sketch of the Dovetail Tee Halving. I'm going to leave the video at that there, and I'll show the setting out of it on a separate video.